United end their trophy drought, but tears for the Toon at Wembley.
Evening, Tate.
Evening, Jack. You alright?
Yeah, mate. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good, can't complain. Bit colder though this morning, or this
today,
evening, should I say?
It's gone back to winter temperatures, isn't
Although
it?
you are in shorts in the bunker.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Return of the shorts.
I've got to be in a comfortable setting whilst I record this.
I haven't quite brave in the shorts yet. But episode 34, here we are, and the first trophy of the season has been handed out.
Yes, it has.
Unfortunately, to Man United, for my displeasure.
I think they're always gonna come out on top.
Deserved winners, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about in the pod. So we'll start with the Carling Cup final or Carabao Cup final, and then we'll run through all the Premier League action, mainly touching on the relegation zone and the Spurs versus Chelsea game.
Yeah.
And then we'll end with the usual team of the week teaser,
nice.
Winner loser, and yeah. So let's start with the teaser. And because it's been the League Cup this weekend, the teaser is based on that. So from 1981 to 2023, the League Cup has attracted multiple sponsorships and has been named 8 different titles. Can you name them all?
How many? 8?
8, yeah. So, for example, the Carabao Cup is one of 8.
All right, come back to it. I'll give it a go.
Can you name all 8?
Give it a go.
Looking at it, I would have got 6.5.
6.5.
There's two that are before my age.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know how well I do, but yeah, it's a good question.
Okay, right. Let's start at Wembley.
Yep.
And the Carabao Cup final, Manchester United versus Newcastle United.
Mm.
Can you inform the listeners of your prediction?
I said 2-0 to Manchester United and a Rashford goal, but he didn't quite. Obviously, we'll talk about ricocheted off Botman, didn't it? But 2-0. I thought. I don't know. That's how it. Oh, you always say it when it's happened, and you say you predicted, but I just thought it would be that way. The way Newcastle almost seemed like they've fallen apart the last couple of weeks leading into it, just Man United being Manchester United. Just thought, that's the way I saw it. Really, just comfortable 2-0.
Well, I think it was one of them games where, for a neutral, Newcastle needed to get the first goal. Because I was texting Ben earlier, who's a big Man United fan, and I was just saying, I fancy you. But if Newcastle get the first goal, you never know. I just can't see Newcastle scoring twice. No,
and they've been that. You look at the league table and the way the amount of goals they've conceded, their results. That's what they're based off, isn't it? But they're incredibly organised, really disciplined. But it just didn't quite happen. They were all right for the first. I didn't really watch it, to be honest. I was at Spurs, but from what I saw and what you hear, they were okay for sort of 20-25 minutes. Yeah,
well, the game sort of changed. It was Newcastle started off well, and the game did sort of change on about 20 minutes when Maximin had a chance. Lovely bit of skill. He got Dalot booked early.
Dalot got a yellow card early, didn't he?
He's got a chance here of just attacking. Maximin is just. I don't really know how to describe it. He's like a better version of like Tottenham Traore, who's non-stop. He looks so good for like 70 minutes of the game, and then for the other 20 minutes he just can't do anything, literally nothing. He gets the box and that's it. But that's probably why he plays for Newcastle, and probably why he was a £30 million player and not a £90 million player.
It's probably a good comparison, Traore, as in that he's similar play in the styles, but like you said, he's got more control. He's got a bit more finesse. He can find a pass. He can score. He looked like their main threat, didn't he? And Dalot obviously got a yellow card early and got subbed off at half time. But
because he made that great bit of skill past Dalot, and then he just think composure, lad.
He had that chance, didn't he?
And he smashed it straight at the goalkeeper. You could maybe put it through the legs or tuck it in it. I don't know, but that was the chance to go 1-0 up and real make a game of it. But after that save, Man United edged into it, and then I think about 5 minutes later,
it's a good ball from Shaw.
They've got the free kick. Shaw whipped it in. Casemiro headed it in. VAR tried their best to disallow it.
Yeah. I thought it was off.
They drew the lines. Yeah, so remember to draw the lines again.
yeah, at least they remembered this time.
For only one game, they forgot to draw the lines, but they drew the lines. And Casemiro, who's been talk of the town, it's on everyone's lips. Just come back from his 3-game suspension.
Yeah, it was good timing.
And he scored. He's a FA Cup winner, a Carabao Cup winner, winning goal. I don't know whether he was disrespected before he came, or people just thought, is he not as good? But I assumed I always knew he was very, very good player. He was always going to improve on McSauce.
He's going to be better than Fred, better than
and he's going to make these players better around him. But he's been a revelation for them. He really has. And before coming to United, he'd already won 5 Champions Leagues, 3 La Ligas, 1 Copa, and 15 other trophies for club and country. He's won 10 of his 12 major finals he's played in, and now is a Carabao Cup winner. Yeah,
and the League Cup is the smallest one, if you like, in England to win, but him playing at Wembley in a final, he's probably the perfect centre midfielder to have. And you see things online of he was about people saying about Casemiro that he was really in the mud in Madrid and winning all There's a photo of him. I think they won the Club World Cup or something. They caught him in a photo where he looks relatively upset, but like you said, he's won multiple Champions Leagues, La Ligas, and probably Spanish Cups and God knows what. So to him, a League Cup against Newcastle at Wembley is nothing.
Yeah, he's been through it all. Yeah, it was 31 now. I think what people turned their nose up on was coming in at 30, £75 million, and he's on something silly like 400k a week. I think. Is he going to be, for example, Aubameyang when we
total waste
when we gave him the new contract, or someone of that ilk that may not have had history? Di Maria, for example, who couldn't really give 2 shits when he signed.
Also, he scored a banger. Did you see his goal the other night? What a goal! Wow.
Yeah. It looked like a classic FIFA simulator goal, didn't it?
Yeah, the ball just basically started on the corner flag and somehow ended up top right. Top right, but what a goal.
But no, he's been an absolute revelation for him, and you can see how much they struggle on his suspension. They have no control on that midfield.
Yeah, that's when you know, similar with Arsenal, when it's similar with Tottenham, really, and other clubs that you watch, but you don't realise how important a certain player is until they're at the side, and Casemiro is a perfect example.
The 3 games they had without him were Leeds at home, which they drew 1-1, 2-2, sorry, and then off the top of my head, they then played Leeds again, which they struggled for about an hour. Then they got control. They won 2-0, and then beat Leicester at home. But in the first half, they should have been 2-3-0 down because of that. There was no control of that midfield, and Leicester just willy-nilly went straight through the middle of them. But he
didn't play against you, did he?
No, suspended.
Yeah, and they got beat, didn't they? Arsenal. So no, he's obviously doing very well. Yep, got the goal, made it 1-0, and then they. Rashford 1v1, win it about 5 minutes later.
6 minutes later, the lead was doubled as Marcus Rashford combined with old Weg Waters, who still can't buy a goal.
Nice, that's just the weirdest purchase.
Drove into the box and he shot deflected off Botman before evading Lloris in goal.
Yeah, Karius
Lloris. Yeah. People were saying goalkeeper went down too early. I don't think you can blame him.
I don't know. Yeah, but people were saying that he pushed it in the goal instead of up and out, but. I don't know. It's happened very quickly. It's all very close. Yeah, it's all right. It's not great goalkeeping, but it's also just took a huge deflection. Just sort of bit of luck on United's end of it. So, yeah. And
that took it into half-time 2-0. Newcastle made a change at half-time, bringing old Isaac on for who's the midfielder? They got centre midfielder, Geordie lad.
It's Longstaff.
That's the one. But the thing about Newcastle. They're 2-0 down, and this season they've got of all the Premier League teams, they're the team that in their games the ball is in field the least amount of time. So they are literally the defender of the dark arts of. But against Arsenal, the ball was in play for peanuts. That's why they conceded no goals. The ball was never in play. That's also why they struggled to score goals. Yeah, because they never have the ball. So that's probably why they've had 5-6 0-0s this season, and Man United just. Use their experience and really just kept my arms out for the second half. The second half, I won't lie, I spent most of it on my phone because
it was a classic final.
It was boring. It was so boring that second half. The first half was all right, but they killed it off. And United ended their 6-year trophy drought. Since it's their last trophy since Mourinho won the Europa League
2017.
2017, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Man United's 6th League Cup as well.
Do you know which team's won the most?
Liverpool.
Yeah.
And City have won 8 or something.
Yeah, so City
but
have won
they've
8.
won about 8 in the last 8 years.
City have won 2. They won 2 before 2013.
Ridiculous, yeah. That's what someone said the other day, though. It just feels like the last, however many, obviously it isn't, but the last how many years just been City, and obviously United, yeah, 6 years without a trophy.
Which I think is well needed. Like, this is a point I'm going to bring up. So Gary Neville's exact quotes were that Ten Hag has transformed Man United from whiners to winners.
Yeah, I've literally got that quote down there.
I completely, 100%, wholeheartedly disagree with that comment.
Why? Because it's Man United or Neville or both?
No. So winners, fair play. You've won the trophy. It's fair play. They aren't. There's a certain amount of winners in that team. That Ten Hag has not. Varane is a winner. Casemiro is a winner. I'd even put Rashford in that bracket of being a winner. He's won trophies with Mourinho before. He's got that drive, I think, really to succeed, and that's really about it. He hasn't transformed any other than players into winners. Manchester United 4, Aston Villa 2. Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. Championship Burnley 0. Manchester United 3, Charlton 0. Over 2 legs. Manchester United 5, Nottingham Forest 0. Manchester United 2, Newcastle 0.
Yeah, I've got their cup runs as well.
Yeah, you get luck of the draw. Yeah, but there's no transformation. He's getting them. He's improving them.
They are better. They're much better than they've been.
They're better, but
and doing very, very well.
That run to the final is nearly as easy. I still get annoyed when people bring up Mourinho's double in 2017 because they were the 2 most piss easy draws they got in both of them.
They are. And
but again, it's me being salty, and it's.
But then Newcastle's draw. They had Palace 1-0, Bournemouth 1-0, beat Leicester 2-0, and they beat Southampton over 2 legs. Yes, they're Premier League sides, but again, it's teams they should beat, and the way Newcastle have been this year have done that, and that's how they win games. They win 1-0 constantly, like. So yeah, no, I understand. Yes, but it's just the luck of the draw, just the way it goes.
Yeah, if they beat Man City in the final and Chelsea on the way to the final, then yeah, they can be classed as quote unquote winners. But
on that, I've got here. But I was going to say that the back end of last season, United fans and pundits, particularly Gary Neville, were wanting players out and saying what a disgrace they are representing this club and they should never play for the club again.
Even Rashford was in that.
The big players. Like people like Goldbridge and sort of people that become high profile that cover United are saying the likes of Rashford should never play for this club again. And now I'll get on to Rashford later on, but yeah, they're waxing lyrical about him because of how he's performing, and rightly so. He has been good, but yeah, it's just the way. I don't know. It's you can't be saying whiners to winners, and then the end of last season you're wanting the whole squad out. The club is in turmoil. Blah blah blah. Yeah, it's.
I mean, don't worry. He has been fantastic. So far, he's 6-7 months he's been in charge, but he's also plucked the balls up. Finally, of all the managers they've had, to drop the captain.
Yeah.
Who's horrific.
And also remove Ronaldo from the situation.
Yeah. Like, they didn't sign. They got rid of the toxic striker they had, and got rid of his worst centre half.
Yeah.
Like, and he's brought in. He spent £100 million on Anthony. I've got no words on that.
75 on Sancho.
75. Did he? No, that was.
But that was previous.
Yeah, but then they 75 on Casemiro, 60 odd on Martinez.
Yeah.
Who was superb yesterday again, and has really proved the early doubters wrong in the first few games.
And rightly so. He's obviously very, very
where
good.
He was getting absolutely ridiculed. But again, like it was on our group chat yesterday about how Varane and Martinez are playing better now. Yeah, because they're playing better because they're playing with each other. Yeah. They're not playing with a brain-dead centre-half.
And Luke Shaw isn't playing next to... He's playing next to 2 players who like to play with each other, Varane and Martinez, and the same with if it's Wan-Bissaka.
And De Gea as well looks better because he's not playing with Maguire.
Exactly, yeah. It's not... I'm not saying it's simple or, look, it's easy, but that obviously makes a huge difference when you've got a settled back four that are obviously good players. So
I mean, just to bring it back to Arsenal, we look a lot better when Squadron Mustafi didn't play.
Yeah.
Or doesn't play. He doesn't play for our club anymore. No. There's no... Surprise, our defence has got better. A bit like Spurs when Sanchez doesn't play.
When Romero plays, we're obviously going to be a lot better. It's just simple, but
I was a bit gutted for Newcastle because, like you said, this has sort of been on the cards because they've been slowly
Yeah,
the momentum. That's the word I'm looking for. Momentum is draining out of them a bit, and it looks like
they had a real.
They can't score for love of their money, can they?
They had a real buzz, and I even said it. I said when they beat us, I said Newcastle must be one of the best places to be at the minute, but it suddenly just seems to totally fallen away. And obviously Sunday they had the huge issue of Nick Pope not playing, not being able to play Dubravka, and then having Karras in goal, which I don't think he's an awful goalkeeper, but that is just a massive drop off. Bruno comes back, which is important for them, but was he playing through an injury? We don't know. Could he have been playing 80-90% and just fighting through it? You don't know. He come off late on in the game, so to me, the best way to describe it for myself is that's like so Tottenham. What happened to them is so Tottenham. They turn up in a big moment in a big cup final, and their number one goalie can't play. Some of their best players are sort of half injured, don't know what's going on, and they're on such a high, and then leading into it, it seemed they were such a low, and it just seemed like a recipe for disaster, really, and it came true, really. United winning 2-0, quite a comfortable, almost a nothing game in the end.
And Newcastle lost each of their last 9 matches at Wembley. I think that was their first time at Wembley, wasn't it? The new Wembley.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't actually have that number.
So they've lost each of their last 9, and that started from 74 in an FA Cup final. So,
I mean,
it's the longest ever losing run.
Is it
at the venue at Wembley?
They will be back there soon. There's no doubt about it.
I think so, yeah. And I think when they now need, because they've got the money, they need to then spend big, and they'll be there or thereabouts, won't they? And they might win a League Cup or get to an FA Cup final in the next couple of years again, and they'll probably be very, very different, I think. But yeah, that was 54-year wait for a trophy, 68 years for a domestic trophy. Continues for the Toon.
You could see with Newcastle where they're at a level, like their starting lineup is decent, but the subs they brought on in the second half, you had
that's why I've got it here. I was going to say, go on.
Willock, Ritchie,
Murphy,
and the young kid came on.
Anderson came on, and he came like last minute or so. But then Isaac came on half time, and again, he's supposedly like a sort of hot prospect, but again, he's very, very young, very inexperienced,
very raw as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's just the main when that sort of first 11, 12 players isn't working, they look to the bench and it's quite poor, really. Murphy's not going to change the game for you. Willock's probably not going to win you the game, is he?
Yeah, and then when you've got, like you said, if your starting line aren't playing well, Miguel Almiron can't score a goal at the moment. Since he come back from the World Cup, he's struggled. Same with Wilson, really. He doesn't look fit.
No. He was at a stinker, didn't he, Sunday? He was really rough.
He was really...
But then again, you're up against Varane and Martinez, who are playing well, against the United team that's playing well. But
with Casemiro in front of them, like, you're not going to get a chance. And like you said, if Bruno Guimaraes is playing through an injury, he looked ill to me when he was like dazed or something. It just didn't look right.
Yeah. I don't know, could that loss have a huge effect on Newcastle? Could they suddenly fall off?
We'll speak about it a bit later, but I think you've got a good point there where they're on a bit of a slope a little bit, and with Spurs strengthening their grip on.
Yeah, and they've. I'll talk about Tottenham, but the fact, obviously, yes, Newcastle played at the weekend. They didn't play in the league. They're now 2 games behind us, but they're still 4 points off us, and that win for Spurs was massive, and obviously beating West Ham the previous week. But yeah, I don't know. Have the wheels maybe slowly coming off Newcastle, and that high they were on, they've suddenly dropped down to earth, and can Eddie Howe and their players regain where they were at?
Well, for me personally, I really, really, really need them to bounce back at the weekend. You know they got?
I thought I had here, but no.
They're away at City.
Oh, they are.
Early kickoff.
Yes, that's it. Sorry, Man City away next week.
They can get a lovely Newcastle 0-0. The ball in play for 20 minutes of the game.
Well, they haven't won in 4 in the league.
Dan Burn versus Haaland. Battle of the Giants.
Yeah, well, they're all the back 4, but Botman and Dan Burn and Monster Shah.
Nick Pope back. I mean, I said a couple of weeks ago I didn't think the top 4 would change, but where Newcastle have slowly sort of wilted away and Conte's got ill, and then you've decided you're going to be...
Yeah, we're actually good with it.
You like playing again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is what we'll bring up. We'll talk about it in the relegation thing, how football just changes.
Every week.
Week to week, it's like, oh, they're safe. No, they're not anymore.
And it's,
Newcastle are good. No, they're not. Yeah. But that's what you want. You want things to keep changing all the time. And Man United player this is what I would give credit to Ten Hag for. Is every 3 days, Man United are playing again. They've got another game now.
Yeah,
they've got West Ham in the cup because they got through they've had what a week. They beat Barcelona, they beat Newcastle, and then they could get through to the next round against West Ham.
Are they fighting on all 4 fronts? Are you having that argument? Could they do the quadruple?
No, quadruple. But it's between you. It's between Spurs, City, and United who are going to win the FA Cup. Arsenal are out. Liverpool are out. Chelsea are out. It's going to be one of you 3. Newcastle are out. Who else are in there? Stoke, Brighton, Fulham, Leeds, Southampton, Grimsby. No. Leicester, Blackburn, Bristol City, Burnley, Fleetwood, Sheffield United. No. The other teams I haven't mentioned is Man United, West Ham, Bristol City, and Tottenham.
Yeah.
It's going to be between one of them 4 teams who are going to win it. Hopefully Man City.
Hopefully they do the double.
And then Europa League is massive now for United. If they want to win a trophy, because I got an inkling, I hope I'm wrong, I don't think Arsenal are going to put much effort into that.
No,
I do hope I'm wrong.
But I think I'd like you to, because then you could just keep playing and get more fixtures, and your schedule's all messed up, and then Arteta's coming out whining his little head off. But
I'll behave.
He will definitely moan about it. But yeah, it's a massive opportunity for all those clubs to win it. Obviously, United and Arsenal, Juve as well. Man
United got a real good opportunity to win the treble that Liverpool won in 2001 when they won the League Cup, the Europa Cup, Europa League, or UEFA Cup when it was called back then, and the FA Cup. Great chance.
Yeah,
I do think the league will be a bit too much for them. I think
I don't
still
think
they're City's to lose.
I don't think they're in the title race, but I think they're at the moment they obviously look like they are, and I think they'll be top 4. They'll be good enough to be in that top 4, and like you said, they'll go for the cups and the Europa League, I think. Yeah.
But do they burn out like Liverpool did last year? Where they can't. Can you play every single game? But that's where Ten Hag has done really well to manage his squad, and it does help. I remember that ridiculous tweet that Goldbridge said the other day about how Ten Hag got nothing off the bench.
Yeah. And then you come out the weekend and Neville saying how good his subs are.
How good his subs are, and how I think Man United got the most goals from the bench.
Yeah.
It's like you've got a good squad there, and you've had a good squad for a while.
Yeah.
You've now just got a good manager. I mean, not for the last 4 years, you've had a PE teacher in charge, and then you had Ralph Rangnick in charge.
And on their squad, they have got, at the moment, they're playing well, but they've got 2 right-backs, Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, that are doing well. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka's played a lot more, but when you need Dalot to play, he can play. They've got probably 3... Maguire, I know you hate him, but he's not a terrible replacement when he's needed. And they've got a left-back, Shaw, and that Malacia can play if needed. So Bits has come in. Sancho suddenly switched on and sorted himself out. So they've got options. Eriksen when he comes back as well. So their squad is there to go and...
The only place
they won't win the league, but yeah, they could battle in the cups.
The only place they're weak is the number 9. When you've got ice cold Martial still injured.
Yeah, true. With Workhorse, that's such a random.
But it's like we said before, and it's like playing Football Manager or FIFA. Why is Workhorse playing for Man United? Like it wasn't Arnautovic, then it was him.
Like we said ages ago, but those players there, Igalo was there. It's just all these players you spend the money on Casemiro, you spend the money on Martinez, then you get Weghorst.
Well, even Casemiro to an extent, I think that's why he got a bit of... People didn't really take him that seriously when he first started, because they didn't go for him until deadline day. I think it was deadline day they signed him, wasn't it? Or they went all summer for Frankie de Jong, and they went for someone else, and then they panicked. They lost the 2 games, didn't they?
I think Rabiot was mentioned.
Rabiot. They went for Rabiot first, and then they went for Casemiro. It was like third choice. Like, no one's been taking Man United seriously mainly because of what they're doing off the field. For a club who is probably the biggest club in England, or it definitely is the biggest club in England, probably the 3rd biggest in the world, behind the 2 Spanish giants. How they act off the pitch is horrific.
Yeah, it's not been what you're used to, is it? And maybe with Ten Hag and after this season in the summer, they'll maybe not go back to what they used to be, but yeah, everyone will take them seriously again.
This is a question though for the United fans out there.
Chelmsford Reds.
Will they become a victim of their own success? And what I mean by that is, if you own a franchise, Manchester United, and you've employed someone, Ten Hag, to do to be your manager, and he's turning things around by doing his thing, doing his job well. Obviously, Man United are going to improve. They win the League Cup. Imagine they won the treble this year. They won the Europa League and they win the FA Cup. Why would you sell that asset? Why would the Glazers leave?
Well, they wouldn't want to, would it?
Why would you leave? You can keep ramping that price up. Imagine they win the Premier League.
At this point now, if that happens, like you said, this summer, they'd be able to sell it for the most they would. Or they would have been able to. If they sell it this summer, that price will be a premium. So they might be looking at it like that.
Keep ramping it up. Remember they win the Premier League next year. And why would you leave it? Surely they're making more money still.
Yeah, they must be doing all right now.
They must be doing all right. Like,
they're not.
If they win another trophy and finish in the top 4, they've got Champions League income. They've got 2 trophies. Surely they'll just stay there.
Possibly.
Don't know.
Yeah.
They signed Ronaldo for a bit to get a lot of money out of that, a lot of commercial sales out of that. But I don't know. I just think I can't actually see the Glazers leaving because of the money they're like. Who has £5 billion?
No, just casually, and I'm going to buy it. Like you said, the third or possibly the biggest club in the world. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at that from the wrong point of view, but I just think if the better Man United are doing while they're still up for sale, the less likely they're going to be sold. I don't know. Maybe that's just a point I thought I'd bring up. Have you got anything else to add on the 2 teams?
No, not necessarily. Just maybe slightly on Newcastle again. Could it be the downfall? It's happened before, isn't it? You've seen maybe not necessarily always the losers or always the winners, but the League Cup does have an effect on certain teams. Off the top of my head, again, I think I mentioned it last week, but when Birmingham beat Arsenal, I think they got relegated that year.
Yeah, they did.
And then they, obviously the following year, they're in Europe, and then they're in a championship with God knows what. I think Southampton got to a League Cup final semi recently and finished 17th.
That's when Man United beat them.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's plenty of examples, but off the top of my head, that's a couple.
Swansea were a similar situation.
Yeah, Swansea played Bradford in a League Cup final. Like, it doesn't.
How was that a League Cup?
I know.
Like, I remember that run. Did Bradford beat you as well? They beat us.
Possibly. They did have a mad run, but it's just one of those moments. But for them, obviously, that was a great moment. But I don't know how their league form went. But I think they're in League 1 or 2 now, so they kind of done that well. But yeah, I just don't know. The League Cup seems to have effects on teams because obviously, it's a big final. It's halfway through the season or just over. It's a big moment, and United might go one way and Newcastle go the other. We shall see.
We shall see. Right, we'll leave it there. We'll have a quick break, and we'll be back after to go run through the Premier League action over the weekend.
Hello, listeners. It's former England and Premier League player Matt Jarvis here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Remember to support the podcast by sharing with your friends and family and leaving that 5-star review. Now come on, you Irons, and stay loyal.
So we're going to cover the Premier League action from the weekend. Start with the Friday night fixture.
Fulham versus Wolves. Bit of a stinker, me. I completely forgot about this fixture and didn't do my fantasy team.
Oh yeah,
I've had loads of players not playing.
It's got to that stage. I'm doing alright. I'm in our leagues. I'm doing okay, but it's sort of got to that stage where I've just doing random stuff now. It's sort of just plateaued. Like everyone's got the same players. Everyone's got Haaland. Yeah. So that Friday one, totally forgot about that.
And 1-1. This screamed draw, I think, beforehand looking at it. 2-2. Fulham slowly plateaued a bit. Now Mitrovic is injured. And they don't look like they can get a goal from anywhere, really, unless he's playing. I know this Solomon.
Scored a couple, hasn't he?
It's the first. He's got 3 consecutive goals, and he hasn't started a game for them yet.
Yeah.
All 7 appearances have been off the bench.
Yeah.
A cracking finish as well, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, it was good. And he's also, I think he's one of those, like, he probably wants to play. Of course he wants to play. He might be brilliant when he starts, but if it's working off the bench, just carry on. There's no reason for that. And it's probably not. I'm sure Fulham fans going, yeah, he should be starting, but I mean, if he's doing the business off the bench, then let it continue.
And that point left Fulham still in 6th. They'll be disappointed though, because that was a chance for them to home to Wolves.
Yeah, they'd be going into that wanting to win.
To real cement that 6th position for them. But the point leaves Wolves 15th and 3 points above the relegation zone.
Yeah. And they had just lost to Bournemouth at home, so for them to
get back to winning ways.
A point or something. It's good, and especially away at Fulham.
Yeah, I think that's a good point for Wolves away from home to avoid defeat and avoid back-to-back defeats.
Yeah, definitely.
But moving on to the Saturday games, let's start. So I didn't actually watch the Fulham game because I was on the way to Liverpool for the weekend. And talking of Merseyside, Everton versus Aston Villa.
Yes.
I mean, I had this down as a home banker.
I thought Dyche would carry on his home form. I didn't think, he's definitely going to win. But yeah, I would have put money on Everton. Just Villa, they're just a weird team. They are just a classic mid-table, aren't they? There's no, you cannot put it any other way. And they've had a good couple of away results under Emery, obviously beating us comfortably, and same again against Everton. Really,
I just saw it was a stinker of a performance from Everton.
They'll be frustrated, very, very. This
is the game that sort of levelled them out. Like the manager bounce against Arsenal, they were awful against Liverpool in the derby. Then they beat Leeds 1-0.
Yeah.
And this is back to the level that they sort of are. Like you said, Villa are a typical mid-table team, and Everton are relegation chocolates. They really are. And they can't score for love nor money, Everton. No. They really don't.
Pace is not going to do it, is he?
They've played 4 games under Dyche, scored 2 goals, one from a corner and one from a Seamus Coleman volley /cross.
Yeah. Yeah, more. But and they want Calvert-Lewin back, and yes, he's a better player than more, but he's not like a guaranteed goal scorer, is he?
He can't score goals either.
No.
Even when he's fit, he can't get fit.
No.
Well, a stat on Mopai here I've got. This is his whole Premier League career: 27 goals and 119 Premier League appearances. Iwobi 16 in 207. Dwight McNeil 9 goals in 156 games. Tomorrow Gray 18 in 189. That's a combined total of 70 Premier League goals from 671 games.
That's not good.
That's
shocking.
It's not looking good, bro.
No, it's not.
But they can't score goals. Like the only goals they're going to score are going to be from set pieces.
Yeah. Crosses in the box, set pieces.
I can't believe they sold Gordon for £40 million in January and didn't sign someone. How do they not go get... I know Ings played for Liverpool.
Yeah,
I was about to say Ings?
Yeah, if he's gone to West Ham, he was obviously available. Villa weren't fussed about selling him to a lower team in the table.
Or
something.
It might even sound stupid. Michail Antonio?
Something.
Different... I don't know. I'm trying to think of... Walcott, I don't know. Obviously, they couldn't get him, but that's sort of they need someone. They need someone who's going to try and score a goal.
Because Forest have tried it, and they got Chris Wood in. Obviously, West Ham have got Ings in, so yeah.
Yeah, Chris would have been perfect for Burnley. Play for Dyche.
Perfect Burnley, perfect for Everton.
Perfect for Everton, yeah.
But no, exactly. Yeah, it would have. And to be fair, Chris Wood back with Dyche. Why hasn't he gone there? What is that? Yeah, no, they've missed the trick, I think.
I just can't believe they haven't signed anyone.
But yeah, under Dyche, 2 wins, 2 losses. It'd be obviously very frustrating with that Villa at home, but before Dyche arrived, they hadn't won in 8, and obviously, like I said, they've won 2 out of 4. That's obviously a much better sort of improvement in form, isn't it, for them? And like we know, they've got Arsenal away next league fixture, which
on Wednesday.
Yeah, this week, who knows what could happen? But the game after Forest away. That's the game they'll be.
Is that on Saturday?
That's the weekend. Yeah, they'll be focused on that, definitely.
I think that's actually one of the Sunday Sky
Sunday
games.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, correct. Yeah, one of the Sky games. That is a massive game, isn't it?
Oh, that's going to be big game.
Yeah, I did think it was a really poor result for Everton. First of it, a Goodison for Dyche, but the game was pretty boring. First half, nothing really happened, and it sort of sprang to life early in the second half. Iwobi had some typical Iwobi shot that sort of going on well wide, and then somehow it got deflected and then was nearly going in and then kid off the line and all panicky, and they had a couple of shots. Mings cleared it away, and then Idrissa Gana Gueye gave away a stupid penalty.
Yeah, it was just an obvious foul, like no VAR or whatever could change that. It was just stupid.
McGinn's running in,
just lost his whole focus, didn't he? Yeah, he just jumped in,
taking him down. And Watkins 5-5, isn't it?
Yeah, 5 in a row. First Villa to ever do so in the Prem.
Is he?
Eighth goal for him this season. And his best return was 14 in 2020-21. And last season he scored 11. And that was his 99th career goal. So he's on a bit of form. Yeah, he's on a...
Thumped it straight down the middle.
Yeah, he's hit a nice bit of form.
He's a strange player, Watkins. He should score more than he does. But I also think that's a sign of a good player who's gets the opportunities.
Yeah, I think he just works within Villa, and he's probably quite comfortable there, and yeah, he's all right. He's just that if he can score 10, 12 goals in a side that Buendia might pop up and whoever else might score a couple, he's all right, and he's not. He's gonna be no better than Villa, but he shouldn't be any worse.
He's like the equivalent to like Callum Wilson for me.
Yeah,
that sort of player. They will always score. You're 10 Premier League goals a season, but that's obviously at that level. That'd be about it. And then just before full-time whistle, 10 minutes to go, Buendia came on and sealed the game. Really, made it 2-0.
Yeah, 4 for the season for him. His best ever in 4 seasons was 4 goals for Norwich. So yeah,
and
4
that
goals
defeat slipped Everton into the bottom 3 with the games we'll go on to.
That's like you said earlier, mentioned it, but just from one week to the other now, Everton are sitting 18th, Leeds are out of the bottom 3, West Ham climb out, obviously Wolves got the extra point, so just keeps changing, doesn't it?
What is funny is because obviously I went up to Liverpool the weekend, and Joe, who I was with, is a big Everton fan, and we both were saying before the game, if Everton win this, they're pretty much safe, aren't they? Like, it's mad how you just that concept of Dyche winning 3 out of 4.
You just assume they're they're
going to be safe, but like
it wouldn't really mean much. It'd mean they're 24 points and be 14th, 15th.
Yeah, they're just not.
No. Yeah, that's how tight it is down there. That's how bad all these sides have been, really.
And just a thought, like you just mentioned there, sorry. They play Arsenal on Wednesday. Yeah, that's Arsenal's game in hand. That's not Everton's game in hand.
No. Yeah, it's bad news for Everton, I think. Bad news.
Everton will have played 25 games, and that's more than anyone in the bottom half of the league.
Yeah, and obviously they'll play the 26th against a side very close to them. Yeah. It's probably not a fixture that Dyche wants at all.
Well, I don't know. Hopefully, they beat us fucking 3 weeks ago. They can. You never know.
Maybe.
Never know. What, should we move on to the Leeds Southampton game?
Yeah, let's go on to it.
Another, like you said, another fight down the bottom.
Yeah.
Wasn't a great game of football by any means.
It sounded awful. It sounded absolutely shocking.
2 teams that have recently sacked their manager and appointed new managers. So it was Xavi Garcia's first game in charge for Leeds. Previously managed Watford and Valencia, among lots of other teams. And it was Ruben Sellers' first game as official manager until the end of the season.
Yep.
I did think this was going to go a home win because they're both bad as each other.
Yeah,
but I thought surely
the goal summed it up really.
God,
just an absolute awful goal. And yeah, I don't know. I thought Southampton, not they would win, but with that new guy in charge, obviously the win at Chelsea, I thought surely they might get a point or put up a bit of performance. But I think they had one meaningful shot at Ward-Prowse in the second half, a long distance effort. Yeah, they were just awful, and that's why they're rock bottom of the league in a minute.
But they Southampton, they just look. That game, like you said, the goal summed up everything about them 2 teams. The left back scored it with his right foot. It was like a pass back, dribbled
through, didn't it?
Is it Vegnarak just sort of shimmied his legs, had his legs closed, didn't really know what to do, turned,
went under the goal.
How the goalkeepers let that in? It's a P roller.
Yeah.
Junior Firpo scores it as well. It was Emerson Royale's brother,
and who Leeds supporters despise him as well. They think he's awful.
Absolutely dreadful. It's the former Barcelona's left back's first Premier League goal, and it's Leeds' first win in 11 attempts, lifting them out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, their last.
We all thought they were doomed.
Their last win, 5th of November, Bournemouth at home. So yeah, exactly that. They're now 17th, 1 point above, and they're safe at the moment. And yes, they've plenty of games to go, but again, every week if results go certain ways, it's constantly changing.
And they've got Chelsea.
Yes.
Oh, Chelsea.
Yep.
Chelsea on Saturday.
Could be the end of Potter if he's not already.
Oh my God.
If he's not gone by that point.
Did you watch it Match of the Day?
Well, the Leeds game?
Yeah.
Briefly.
Did you watch the interview after with Firpo?
No.
So, Leeds fans will know, and most people who watch Premier League football will know that he's a terrible, terrible defender. So they asked him about it. He was really happy. He goes, I'm really happy to get my goal. I just love attacking. He goes, I used to be a striker and score loads of goals. Then I was a winger. then I was a midfielder, and now I'm a defender. He goes, I've just sort of gone all the way back from my career. The older I've got, the further back on the pitch I've got. He goes, but I just love attacking. And he was so enthusiastic about scoring a goal and enthusiasm and attacking. It shows you all you need to know about what he thinks.
Yeah, he's not concerned about defending and keeping clean sheets at all. Yeah,
but isn't it mad that a Premier League player who is a defender now, like, wasn't a defender up until he was like 21? Like,
yeah, you know what? We'll have him left back. He'll get us out of the shit.
Probably just because he's quick. Like, literally, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but Southampton lost 10 out of 12. Bottom for the 69th time this season, 25 times more than any other club.
God.
Yeah, it just can't be good news, can it? It cannot be good.
I'll ask you a question here. Have the clubs done the right decision to sack both their respective managers?
What, Southampton with Ralph earlier on?
Ralph and Marsh. Ralph and Jones. And
Jones,
Marsh.
True.
I think Jones was the wrong appointment.
That was...
In hindsight, horrific
Yeah,
appointment.
that's obviously gone terrible. I actually forgot about Jones. He was that bad.
Hasselhout, I think...
Maybe Ralph, but I don't know, because... Obviously he wasn't going well, but... I don't know, would he be doing any worse than they are now? Probably not. And obviously Nathan Jones was horrible. We're not obviously this new person might just do enough. I don't think he will. I think they're gone, but... Yeah. And who's the other team? Sorry,
Marsh.
It was Leeds, Marsh. They were pretty terrible, and they were. But it's almost one, like I said before. But it's inevitable that these sides will go down at some point. Like, you don't want them. Like, they don't want to. Of course, they want to stay in the league and they want to be good enough. But it's inevitable. They float around 15th to 20th each season, and each year it's just who plays worse basically. And this year it seems to be Southampton. And Leeds are just about fighting their way out of it. But yeah, Marsh again. Maybe the appointment. It's easy to say now, but maybe the appointment was wrong to start with. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I like Marsh, but maybe I liked him for the wrong reason.
Yeah, you liked him because he was a meme. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, going from two managers that did get sacked to one that was under big pressure, David Moyes. Now, where on earth did that result come from? Forget whoever won. The result, 4-0.
Yeah, ridiculous.
What?
I think it's just one of them. I think they went 1-0 up, and then suddenly they just woke up, and Forest just collapsed. It just became an onslaught, didn't it?
It's got 4 goals in 14 minutes.
Yeah, it was absolute barrage, wasn't it? Some good goals, well. Declan Rice finished lovely, lovely goal.
Massive result that for West Ham.
Yeah, huge.
First goals for Ings since his January move from Villa.
Yeah,
I think we said a couple of weeks ago on the January pod, we said that his goals will probably keep him up.
And that's his first start as well.
But he forgot about him. I know he got injured for a couple of weeks, didn't he?
That's his first start as well. So he hasn't. He's played here and there, but like I said, actually played a game, started the game, probably played the full game, scored twice. I know he's not going to do it every week, but I think similar to. It sounds stupid because obviously they beat Forest 4-0, but like we keep saying about Forest, I think West Ham and Forest will stay up because of their home games against the teams around them, and they'll get beat probably every other week. But their home form, they'll get points at home, and when others won't, and they'll be fine. I think.
Well, now they've signed Ings. They've got 3 strikers of Ings, Scamacca, and Antonio, and I'd only ever pick one of them. That'd be Ings, because Ings will get you. He's got 2. He'll get you 8 goals by the end of the season, I think. 8 goals. They've got 14 games left, I think.
Yes.
He'll get
14.
5 to 8 more goals, I think. And that will be enough to keep you up.
Yeah, I think so. And David Moyes picks up his 250th Premier League win. Only Aston Villa, 476 wins, and Ferguson, 528, have more.
Yeah.
Don't run. Wenger and Ferguson's wins are obviously far ahead of his, but yeah, it's pretty interesting, I think.
I think he's going to keep his job the rest of the season now.
Oh yeah, I think so. Not just because I think if they were going to sack him, they would have sacked him weeks ago. I think.
Yeah, I think he deserves to be given the season. I think that might be thank you, but thank you. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, maybe in the summer they'll look at it again, but I've said it. But why sack Moyes when they need Moyes? Like they need to appoint a David Moyes, and you're probably listening thinking, well, they've been rubbish, but I think Southampton would love to have David Moyes. Bournemouth would probably love to have David Moyes. Leeds, you know what I mean? He's it seems to be at recent times as well, the big moments, the big games, he somehow gets a little performance out.
Yeah, when he backs right against the wall. He
Everton at home, even the points against Newcastle, Chelsea, and obviously the weekend Forest, they've got results, and I think they'll be fine. They'll stay up.
And that win took them out of the relegation zone, 2 points clear of Everton, and +4 on the goal difference as well.
Yeah, that's
a big.
First time they've scored 4 this season, only scoring 3 on one occasion against Fulham when they won 3-1. So again, their goals have been limited and they've struggled, but yeah, that's huge for them. And at the bottom as well, you look at their goal difference now, -6, teams around them, Leeds -10, Everton -15, bottom 2 -26, -22, so yeah, those 4 goals and obviously not conceding is huge.
And even looking above them, Forest -24.
Yeah.
Well, that's shambolic.
That's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Massive result as well for West Ham going into next week's away game against Brighton, their ultimate bogey club.
Yeah, I've got it. They've never beat them. Never beat them 11 times.
In the Prem?
In the Prem, never won.
I didn't know that. I just know West Ham fans hate playing them.
Yeah, they always say, well, it's just never as good a result. And away, a good side this year, yeah. That's why beating Forest at home is huge, because then not they can lose, they can go there and it's right, we'll lose, but they know they've won at home, so Brighton away, they can sort of take a loss on the chin and move on.
No, it was a great result for the Hammers. And going to the team below them, Bournemouth, Man City, I think that was
standard. Exactly how I thought it'd go.
14 out of 14 Man City beat them or something like that.
Just a free hit, isn't it?
It was just
for them.
Literally a toss up and smash out the park. 6, wasn't it?
It's silly almost. Like you might as well just ball go. Yeah, take the 3-0. We'll move.
Yeah,
on.
we might as well not even turn. Like, how bad was that third goal? Like the pass across the back. Oh.
Yeah, and it's not.
De Bruyne on the bench again, just sitting there like.
And I'm not saying City are rubbish, but it just is. They are that good. That's how they can just walk through sides, and we think nothing of it. But yes, it's pretty much what it was, wasn't it? It was just 4-0 up, cruising, and then they concede. But I haven't
really got much else to add on that. Just a 27th goal for Haaland and another routine win for Man City.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Leicester, relegation contenders, got to be, haven't they?
They're obviously in the battle, but I think again similar to West Ham and Forest,
should be safe, but
they'll. When Maddison plays they're at home, obviously I'm asking for a lot there, but I think they'll be okay. They've scored enough goals, or they can score enough goals. Yeah, they'll beat those sides around them again. I think. Yeah.
They were awful.
No, they were. Yeah, that's why going from Spurs, they were brilliant. Or it seemed they were brilliant. Maybe we were just terrible. Against Arsenal, I don't think they had a shot, did they? Or got near
we were
goal.
Good. Like we imposed ourselves and had like quote unquote big team mentality sort of thing. We just looked good. They were just shocking, mate. Yeah. Arsenal 1-0 win, but tainted by a horrid VAR decision.
Yes, actually, yeah. Let's discuss that.
Wow. Well, to be fair, this weekend it was only 2, really, wasn't there? We'll get on to the second one.
Yeah, this was another weekend.
This was one of 2.
Officiating.
This goal has to stand. Like, there's literally no one can convince me otherwise. Because if you look at the other goals that have been, that goes on in every single corner that possibly goes on. You remember when Spurs played Leeds, and the corner went, what's his name?
Romero,
flying into Meslier. He's laying on Meslier as the goal goes in. Meslier's in the goal with Longley on top of him, and then Kane smashes it in. VAR was like, no, that's fine. Okay, no foul. And then I can't even fathom that not one Leicester player nor the goalkeeper complains until the ball's in the back of the net, and then it says VAR, and then Ward trots over and says, "Oh yeah, my angle." Yeah. It didn't affect you whatsoever. You punched it out. The ball played for like another 5 seconds. 2 other players touch the ball, and then he bends it in the top corner.
Yeah.
And the whole joke of it is that obviously gets disallowed. Whatever. 5 minutes later, the ball goes in. And that suitor just clatters Saka in the back, falls on top of him, and the ref's like, nah, no foul. But,
It's just
I
bad.
can't fathom how that's even it's not. How is that a foul?
No, it's just bad. It's just bad refereeing. It is simple as that.
Is it clear and obvious? No, he's
No.
barely touched him.
No, it's just simple. And it obviously happened in Spurs game. That's why we talk about it. But I'm sure it happens.
It's so inconsistent.
Yeah, all over. And you think even the lower divisions, how bad must their referees be? Like, it's just shocking. And we'll get onto VAR, but I just think it definitely doesn't help the situation at all.
It's like football's all about being quick, scoring goals. Why is that in to disallow that? Like, if it was a pull down of his shirt, or pull down of his arm, then no one complained about it.
No,
no one
not even the goalie.
The goalie complained about
until
it.
he's like, and like you said, until he sees it, it's like, oh yeah, that happened. Like,
what a finish as well.
Yeah, it's good finish. He was good when he Trossard played well.
Yeah, so he played as the false 9 start of the game. If Nketiah dropped to the bench, he played really well. To be fair, he gave a bit more. How do I say this? Gabriel Jesusisms. That's even a word.
It is now.
Whereas Nketiah is more of a fox in the box. So he stays in the 9 position, whereas Jesus plays everywhere on that front 3. He runs around and Martinelli comes in and whatnot. And I think that's a little bit why Martinelli, his form has probably plateaued off since the World Cup, because he hasn't been linking up with Jesus and they've been swapping changes, and maybe why he scored today, and because or scored on Saturday, shall I say, because Trossard drifted out to that left where Jesus sometimes does, and Gabriel Martinelli ran in on the inside and had a lovely finish.
Mm-hmm.
Talking of that, I think Jesus meant to be back next week or the week after, which is good
bad,
for
is
us.
Still 2 points. I know it might be different then, but still top of the table.
I think people forget how important he is and how good he was.
Yeah, hopefully he just isn't as good when he comes back. I just hope he struggles. I
think people forget how good he was for us and how much of a how dynamic he was, and what's the word I'm looking for? How much he just changed our front line in that first 3 months of the season. He was so good.
When the season started, that's what everyone was going on about. It was like how good Jesus and Zinchenko were, the new signings, and we're not basically you've not had him for what seemed like the whole season, but a large portion, and if he's back soon, that's bad news.
Just a note on Leicester, like you said, they badly missed James Maddison, who was unavailable with illness. Been struggling with a knee injury against United. Awful.
Yeah, just rubbish, weren't they?
They were
rubbish.
What is probably what I am glad to see as an Arsenal fan, though, is I think that'll be the last ever time that Jamie Vardy will play against Arsenal. For a bloke who has terrorised us his whole Premier League career, I think this would be his last season, and maybe go to the MLS. Doesn't he own a club out there or something like that? He'll go somewhere out there, won't he?
Yeah. But then, saying they're rubbish, but they played you at the weekend, and obviously United the week before, lost both the games. This season they're not fussed. They're not worried about that. And like before, they beat Villa, drew Brighton. So I think they'll be fine. They're just, I don't know if they'll keep Rodgers or change something around, but they'll be fine.
I'm going to use one word here. Have you got anything else to add on that?
Nah.
I'm going to use one word here to discuss Crystal Palace and Liverpool and segue into Spurs and Chelsea. Skip.
Yeah, quality.
I'm not even going to talk. The only thing I could talk about Liverpool and Palace is that Liverpool's midfield was Henderson, Milner, and Naby Keita. And if someone's got a sick emoji, that is what that midfield entails.
Yeah.
Talking midfield, Skip, get him in the England squad.
Yeah, Skip had £100 million January transfer window record signing Fernandes in his back pocket, and then he had whoever he wanted. He had Felix. He had
Enzo Fernandez assist as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's just Skip, mate. It's a Skip effect.
Playing with the Viking now alongside him.
Yeah, they're identical.
Viking's good, mate.
No, he's not. Skip and Bentancur. That's the way to go.
So, can I ask you an honest question? Have you ever been more confident going into a Spurs-Chelsea game?
Not going into it, but when it started and as the game went on, I'd say within the first 10 minutes, I was like, well, I can actually relax. Like, no, like exactly like you're saying. I think I've got here with, let's have a look.
You always seem to lose against them.
Our record against them is shocking. Hang on 1 second. Where is it? So we hadn't beaten Chelsea in the league since 2018, 3-1 at Wembley. And it just seems like we lose against Chelsea constantly. So that game this weekend gone, we we were just thinking nothing else. And the fact that Chelsea had supposedly been so bad, we thought, right, today they're just going to turn up and perform like they did in the home game when we played them away. But yeah, it was just they were nothing. I was more concerned with West Ham last week or the week before. Like I was more concerned West Ham scoring from a corner or nicking a goal and being worried about them. But yeah, Chelsea, bloody hell.
So first half, I didn't actually watch the first half because I was on the way back. But I actually listened to a game on the radio on 5 Live.
Bloody hell.
I haven't done that in years. That reminds me when I was a kid when I wasn't. Well, we didn't have Sky, so I couldn't watch and couldn't listen to some of the games. So I used to sit in my bed with my Arsenal radio, with headphones on, and listen to it that way. But no, it was good. They did. The commentator did say, and I quote, "When Skip scored, it was the loudest that ground has ever been."
Yeah.
So
he's one of our own, mate. He's one of our own.
But before we get into that, Chelsea, like, who picks their starting lineup? Like, we're going to get onto this player now.
It can't be Potter.
I'll bring him up now. Hakim Ziyech. So, deadline day, he was all but gone to PSG. If it wasn't for an admin error, he would be a PSG player right now. He then started like 2 days after against, I can't remember who they played. He started like 4 of the last 5 games since January.
He needed Jarvis's little printer, didn't he? Next door neighbour to sort him out. He would have got the move.
Get his fax machine working.
Yeah.
Like, whose decision was it to sell him or loan him out? Clearly not the manager's because he's been playing him. It just makes no sense. And, I don't know.
Chelsea made 6 changes from their defeat against Southampton. Reece James comes in, Silva, Loftus-Cheek, Sterling, Ziyech, Havertz, all starting. Don't wrong, Reece James, when he's back fit, he should be in that team. Thiago Silva should be in that team. But it don't matter who you are. If Arsenal make 6 changes, City make 6 changes, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to either play well. Like if you don't play well like they did at the weekend, you shouldn't be surprised. Like 6 changes, that's huge. That's a massive difference. Spurs went unchanged from West Ham, stuck with Richarlison over Son, and just 6 changes.
Richarlison saying again.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's similar to what I said earlier about that Fulham player, but Son seems to be doing quite well off the bench. I don't know, it's 2 games it's been, but to bring him off the bench that's a good position to be in. And Richarlison, I'm not sold on Richarlison. I don't know what he does. He doesn't score. He doesn't set people up. He doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't really do much. He doesn't now. He's not even like getting involved and getting all.
Not doing a passion merchant.
No, yeah, he's not even doing the old argy-bargy and like nutting someone or doing keepy-uppies in the corner. I just don't know. I don't know what he offers. But last 2 weeks we've won 2-0 both games at home. You can't really complain. Yeah, I don't know.
Chelsea look. Like I said, 6 changes. They just look short of ideas. Like even the bench so the new signing.
Mudryk
the defender.
Yeah.
Just got dropped.
Badishil, yeah, the centre back.
He's been dropped for Koulibaly.
Yeah.
Then they've got Fofana who came on. For obviously if the injured Thiago Silva. If he's out for a while.
Yeah, that's what the only like positive note I suppose on Chelsea is that they had Thiago Silva playing. They seem to have a little plan with Kane, him and Koulibaly, that in the first sort of 10-15 minutes it was working. Basically Silva would just man mark him in front and Koulibaly would just try and cover the rest, and it seems to do a little job on him, but then obviously goes off injured. They bring off Fofana. That plan just went out the window. They just played two centre halves next to each other, and not they didn't worry about Kane, but they didn't have someone follow him like they had before. And Kane got on the ball more and started to spray the ball about and play really well. But yeah, without Silva, I think you speak to a lot of Chelsea fans. They obviously
got no chance of doing.
Hold him in high regard, and yeah, I think without Silva, it's a huge loss.
So the first half, you had the Viking shot deflected onto the post.
Yeah, it was pretty uneventful, wasn't it? Apart from
until the 45th minute.
Oh yeah, what a fiasco of that was.
Where it kicked off. Do you want to talk me through what your views on that?
So I think it's quite interesting because when you're at the game, you're literally clueless to what's going on. And from what I saw, there was Havertz sort of swiped at, I think who was on the ball, Richarlison actually, and then Ziyech come in and made sure he was on the floor, fouled him. But I think the ref blew up straight away for the Havertz. As he blowed up, obviously Richarlison got up, got involved, blah blah. I couldn't see what had happened, but Ziyech had then pushed his arm or hand through whatever to Richardson's. No, it was Royale. No,
Royale, because Royale came charging in.
It all started booting off. All these players were involved. Then that happens. Emerson Royale's gone from right back to laying on the floor in the middle of the pitch. And he might give 2 yellow cards. He gave a yellow card to Havertz, and then he walked over, and the whole crowd was going, "Ooh," like no one knew what was going on. Gave Royale a yellow card. Then there was I don't know if there was a bit of time. It felt like there was a bit.
He then went to the linesman.
Yeah, there was a bit of conversation going on. Then he went back and red carded Ziyech. Everyone's obviously buzzing. Then he runs. Then VAR comes, runs over to the screen, changes the decision back to a yellow card. So
yeah, I've watched that ref watch thing before the episode, and this is the thing I have on VAR anyway, that we can't listen to VAR, but Gary Neville.
Yeah, the commentators can. Matt Upson, whoever's doing the co-com.
Why do they have the privilege and we don't? That's just ridiculous. And apparently the ref asked VAR in his head. That was it. So the linesman called the ref and said, "Look, I've seen a raised arm." And then the ref said, "Okay, who was it?" to VAR, and VAR said Ziyech. So then he sent Ziyech off, and then VAR then said to him, "Actually, no, we don't think it's a red card.
Yeah,
go to the monitor, change it, and reverse your decision." Like, do you think it's a red card?
I initially did, and in the moment, because again, you're clueless to what's going on, and they flash on the screen what they show on VAR. So Ziyech's hand, like whatever, pushing, throwing it towards Royale, and in my head, I'm thinking, right, the foul is a yellow card, and then the raised hand to a face, whether it's everyone's saying it's pushed through his shoulder and all that rubbish, but it's ended up on his face. That must mean a red card. It must mean a red card. That's what I thought, but I don't know. A lot of people have disagreed and said it wasn't, but
I mean, I think it would be soft, but you've seen red cards like that before. Certain players get sent off for stuff like that.
Yeah,
certain players do, certain players don't.
Yeah, but you've seen a lot softer, and it happens. Surely a raised hand to a face.
I think where it's
in that
brushed
situation,
the shoulder up to the face, it's probably what saved him. He hasn't gone to the face, and it's one of them ones where if Royale had gone down, he would look absolutely pathetic. But if you press him hard enough, you have the right to go down as well.
Yeah, but he did go down. So.
Yeah, but the thing, because it goes across the shoulder onto the face. If he goes straight for the face, you're off.
But then what's he like? His hand? How's he not just?
Because Casemiro, for example, when he grabbed the shirt and grabbed the neck, he went straight for the throat.
Yeah, but then like Ziyech's hand movement or arm, whatever, is going that way. Like, if you're gonna push the shoulder, you're gonna push the shoulder. If you're gonna push the neck, if you're gonna push the face, he ended up at the face, like whether the shoulder brush, like I don't know. He's a fully grown man. He shouldn't just. You should be able to push the shoulder if you want to push the shoulder. I don't get it.
What it is, it's sort of like it's. This is going to sound stupid how I explain this, but I don't think it's deserving of a red card, straight red and 3-match ban. But it is like a second yellow / more than that red card.
Yeah, but ultimately it comes back to the poor refereeing. And all he has to do, the ref, is give the free kick, book Havertz, maybe book Ziyech, and none of that goes on. None of that rubbish, the players piling in, all the rest of it, none of it goes on.
Completely lost control.
It just comes back to that stupid idiot Stuart Atwell in the middle. And yeah, it's just and although I did hear after that the ref gave a red card because that's the only way that he could use VAR. I don't know how true that
Logic is lasted, but it just sums up the laws, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you watch the highlights and you see the conversation between the fourth official and Potter, it almost seems like the fourth official explains what's happened, and Potter's like just says nothing. Like he's just probably confused, like what the hell is like what is going on. And if that's true, then it's just backwards, isn't it? It's just awful.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. That took the game into half time, 0-0.
Yeah.
And was it
20 seconds?
20 seconds. I just remember seeing it, and Enzo Fernandez runs it. The keeper could have cleared. Oh, it's just awful clearance.
Yeah, it was 3 errors in a row, wasn't it, that led to the goal.
Falls down to Oliver Gerrard skip, who
belts it home.
Could Kipper do a bit better?
Oh, it's awful. Yeah, Harry said it. My brother said that's just like watching Lloris. Like that is like lettuce leaf, Lloris.
Whereas I thought, fantastic strike game. Nothing wrong, but I'm looking at Kepa and thinking, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like
If it's your goalie, if that's Ramsdale next weekend, you're fuming. And obviously Kepa, I'm sure he's upset, and Chelsea fans. But yeah, it's just awful. Like we were buzzing. It was a great moment. It was one of those moments. It was like Skip got in front of João Felix, took the touch, and like, go on, hit it, and he obviously whacks it and comes off the bar and it goes in when everyone's buzzing. But yeah, if you're Chelsea, straight to the goalie. Fernandez's clearance first of all was awful. Felix just doesn't compete to win the ball. Doesn't even get his body there, just offers nothing, and then Kepa throws it in the net.
His first ever Premier League goal opens his account.
67th appearance for Spurs.
67?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 1 goal.
What do you think about him?
I think he's alright. He's not going to be a world beater. He's one of them that I think he'll run his nuts off and do everything he can and give maximum effort because he's playing for his boyhood club. He's alright.
Is he better than Harry Winks?
Probably very similar. I think very similar. I think Winks, when he first came in with Poch and the team that he was in and the way Poch got him playing, was better than where Skip is at now. But I think where Skip is now is better and will be better than where Winks ended up, almost sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like Skip's, I like him, and I think he's doing well at the minute, and I'm glad. I'm happy for him. But yeah, I just don't think that if we actually think we're going to compete top 4, he's enough to get us there. But yeah, I mean, we're all buzzing, and the fact he scored that goal was brilliant. And to be fair to it, it's random, but when you listen to him in interviews and stuff, he done one, I think, match day 2. He's really well spoken and conduct himself well and can actually hold a conversation, and it doesn't say the run of the mill answers. He was talking about his goal and tactical and his tactical approach to the game, and Conte's what they were asking from him. It was quite interesting to see and quite good. But yeah, he's alright, but he has a ceiling, I think, and he's probably quite close to it.
Yeah, he's one of them ones. It's nice to see the youth player come through, but like I said, he's probably starting for a club challenging for 7th, 6th.
Yeah, he could definitely play in the Prem, and he's
always if you want to be a top 4 team, he's always going to be back up.
Yeah. I think he'd be a brilliant squad player, but then he gets to that point. Does he want to ultimately, similar to Winks in a way, but does he just want to be a squad player in a good side, or go and play for a 7th, 8th team and play every week? Yeah, it was a good goal though, and obviously buzzing.
Yeah. Did much else happen before?
No, it was pretty uneventful, wasn't it? The whole game really. That started off the second half brilliantly, and it wasn't really much happening. And Kane scores
from a corner. Post. Was it Son's corner?
Yeah, Dyer flicked on, and then Kane basically, like he always does, he seems to drift towards the ball, towards the goal when other players sort of stand still or go the other way, like Sterling. Sterling was marking him, just followed the ball, stopped running. Kane always moving and taps it home.
Scores a lot of goals, isn't it, that back post from corners?
And he's looking for that. If Dyer wants to score a header, but if he doesn't, Kane's waiting for that moment. Exactly. It was just a good goal.
And then from one good striker to another, Aubameyang back.
Yep. I didn't even realise he was on the pitch, to be honest.
What do you think he thinks of that? What do you think that makes the squad think of Potter? So obviously he's been taken out of the Champions League squad. He hasn't been in a squad since. They then haven't won since. He's back in the squad and he's back playing the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Does that make him look weak? Does that make him look stupid? Has he just got too many players?
Yeah. I just think it's not going well at the minute. 2 wins in 15 all comps for Potter. 1 win in the last 11, scoring 4 goals. I think he's just, right, I've got all these players, and something's got to help here, something's got to change, something's got to give, and I think he's just trying all sorts, isn't he? And it's not quite happening.
The Aubameyang thing, which is what?
Yeah. But then we said it, they've spent £600 million and haven't got a centre forward.
No.
A good one. They haven't got a good one. They got their best ones on loan at the minute for Inter. So they're just in a terrible situation. They're closer to the bottom 3 than they are top 4 at the minute.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
With Leeds up next. Chelsea there, so they're sitting in bang on 10th, level on points with Villa on 31 points. They're 4 behind Brentford. Brentford got a game in hand. They're 4 behind Brighton. Brighton got 2 games in hand. And they're 5 behind Liverpool. Top 4's done for them.
Yeah, they're now, 14 off Spurs. Newcastle, they're 2 games in hand, could be make it 15, 16. So
Europe, so top 7, let's say. Nah, they ain't getting 5 points back. Well, they ain't getting that back.
No, because I think Liverpool are better than them and will do better. And with one of Fulham, Brentford or Brighton, will finish above Chelsea, I think. So.
And with that win, that left you 4 points, Clovis mentioned earlier, 4 points clear of 5th place. 4 wins in your last 5.
Best form team in the last 5 in the league.
I'm looking at it here. Only 4 points behind United.
Yeah.
Is it possible?
Total charge on? No.
You're fighting on all 4 fronts, aren't you still?
Yeah.
No, well, 3 fronts now. You're obviously out of the League Cup, yeah.
We're doing alright. It seems again.
I think it's a 2-horse race for 4th. You and Newcastle.
Yeah, I think so. Unless Liverpool got 2 on us, but then there are a few behind, I suppose. Yeah.
Liverpool they look good and then they look awful.
Then they have a stinker again. Yeah.
Like how good? It's a side note here, but how good was that game? The Champions League game.
Oh, Madrid. Yeah,
wow.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Like. For a neutral, that's just.
But that sums Liverpool up. That they obviously are that brilliant. But this season in particular, they're just at the back. Defend. They're just all over the show. They're nowhere near what they've been. But yeah, they could. When we've got to still play them away. We've still got to play Newcastle away.
So have we.
Yeah. Still got United at home. It's gonna be very close, isn't it? But yeah, just on Spurs and on that man Harry Kane. He's now scored 20+ goals in the last 9 seasons for Spurs. Only him and Lewandowski have done that in 9 seasons.
Not too bad.
So, what Rashford is doing right now, and people, like I said earlier, waxing lyrical, going mad about him, Kane has been doing that for 9 seasons. 9 seasons, that's ridiculous.
Isn't he still got 17 goals this year, Kane, or 16 in the Prem?
Yeah, he's not.
And it's still 6 above what Rashford's got.
Yeah, and rightly so, Rashford does not taking anything away from him, but everyone knows Kane's is good, but it's just how it all works, but. So that dates back to 2014-2015 season and a 2013
Mars
season.
Kane, is that?
That was prime Mars Kane, yeah. 18. But the season before that, he only played 10 games in the league, 4 appearances as a sub and scored 3. Overall, this is excluding, he played in development league or something, not counting those goals. He featured in 19 games that season, 4 goals, 4 assists. Within those 19, he only played 90 minutes of football, and he was obviously 20 years old. So I'm not saying he would score 20 there, but the guy is a joke. He's just brilliant.
In them 3 goals he scored as a sub, one of them was the famous free kick, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was Villa. I think that was the season. Yeah, that's why he takes free kicks now.
10 years ago.
Yeah, that's so true. In all that, you picked out that he's awful at free kicks, but I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
No, that's.
No, he's just a good player.
He's
a very very good player.
He's also one of these sort of victim of his own success, where he's so consistent. People just think, he's sort of don't, because he doesn't really have a hot streak. He's always hot, if that makes sense. If he scores just 20 goals a season, people think, a bit average. A bit average, could have done more than that, because it's consistently done year in year out. Whereas one player does it 1 year, and they're like, wow, he's the next big thing.
Yeah, and that's with Rashford, because he's had. Been very, very quiet, and of late he's obviously scoring a lot of goals. It's suddenly become a thing, but yeah, Harry Kane is just ridiculous. And you just see him at the weekend, like I said, in the first 10-15 minutes, he looked like Silva and Chelsea had sorted him out. He was getting on the ball once Silva had gone off, and he was just spraying passes about, and that obviously is just how he affects the team in a positive way for us, and that's why we play well. But on Spurs, though, we've conceded 35 goals in the league. Only Villa, Forest, Leicester, Leeds, and the bottom 2 have conceded more. So we've conceded the most in the top 10. And for Conte's supposedly brilliant system and all the rest of it, that is something that has been terrible for us, and that's probably why we think we're having such a stinker. And obviously, last 3 home games, all 3 clean sheets.
Back-to-back clean sheets, isn't it, though?
Obviously we won those games, but. Yeah, we're just crying out for some decent defenders, I think.
Yes, goals are get. Oh my God, you've conceded 20 more goals than Newcastle. It's mad. Well, Newcastle's 15 goals is ridiculous anyway. But it's
Everton have conceded less than us. West Ham, Wolves.
Everton conceded less.
Yeah, Wolves and West Ham, even Palace. Obviously we scored a lot more. That's good, but just shows you're not we're very close to being near enough there, but yeah, it's frustrating.
I think that brings a good round up to the Premier League games.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No.
We'll move on to Team of the Week.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we'll start with the goalkeeper, and my mate. He was my loser of the week, but so I had to tuck my tail between my legs, and he performed well. Bounced back after his manager even publicly outed him as well. Got a clean sheet away from home. Emi Martinez
made some good saves, didn't he, as well?
Made a great save from Onana from the header. But I thought we didn't have much to pick through in the stick because I was thinking of De Gea. But we've gone. Our rule is obviously only 2 players from one club, and we have got 2 other Manchester United players we'd like to include in here. So we've gone for the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez.
Yes. Go on, Tate. You go through the first event. I'll just check.
And talking of Martinez, this one. Is it Martinez or Martinez? It's the same.
Lissandro Martinez? I'd say Martinez.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
I would say Emi Martinez, but Lissandro Martinez.
They're both Argentinian, aren't they? So
yeah,
I suppose
whatever. I don't no idea why it's different, but how do you even pronounce it different? But yeah, Lissandro Martinez in goal, in defence. He was colossal, wasn't he? Alongside Varane.
Yeah, he was very good.
We could have picked both of them, but I just think the Sky cameras pinpointed him more.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was doing his passion merchant and
he
was getting involved, and it just looked like he was the more aggressive of the two, and he just played very well. Win the cup final, first trophy in England, and his second trophy in the last 2 months, winning the World Cup as well. Like, fair play to the guy who's completely turned everyone's opinions of him on their head, basically. And then the other 2 defenders, we had the battle of the left backs, Junior Firpo and Alessandro Zinchenko. We put this to the fan vote.
Yep.
And Jack, can you confirm what the...
Zinchenko came out the winner, 64% with the vote.
So the reason
he was just quite good, wasn't he?
I think he played very well. He's been playing well for a while.
Yeah.
Firpo obviously clean sheet and goal for the first goal. We thought let's put him in there. And Zinchenko's been playing well, another clean sheet. And Arsenal, Clarsnal, shall I say? As it was the anniversary, or the 1-year anniversary of the Ukraine war, and everyone was wearing the Ukraine armbands. Classy Arsenal made him captain for the day.
It's so nice of them, isn't it?
That's such a nice club.
That's just what they do, isn't it?
You didn't see Chelsea make Mudryk captain, did you? But no, we just thought it was, put him in there. And he won the vote, did you say? Yeah.
Yes, 64%. Yeah.
If you want to move on to the midfield?
Yeah, I'll take the first one. My mate Ollie Skip. Just the first name on the team sheet, I think, this week. Yeah, no, he was good. First goal for Spurs. And I said pocketed Fernandes. Mount when he came on offered nothing. João Felix offered nothing. Just Loftus-Cheek got subbed off early. No, it's just good game from Ollie Skip. Got obviously a fantastic goal. Perfect way to score your first goal for Tottenham against Chelsea. So yeah, Ollie Skip.
I mean, I know I've mentioned it enough times in this podcast, but have you ever known a player to make a living off being good looking? Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
I was going to say, it can't be Ollie Skip.
Chelsea have spent £600 million and they still picking a midfielder on his looks.
Yeah.
Of all the midfielders they played, they've sold. They're probably their best midfielder to Arsenal. Why is Ruben Loftus-Cheek starting as well?
In a big game,
why are you still starting? You're trash.
Yeah, he should be in the ring with
Go
Jake
to
Paul
South
and Fury.
Africa and go on ITV, Beeb, whatever it's called. Go on Love Island. Go meet Maya Jama. Mr. Stereo Girl. That's where you need to be, Ruben. That's where your career, or go play for Palace. Like, there's the two options.
Go play for Palace.
They're the two options. Like, just stop it now. Come on.
Yeah.
It's getting stupid now.
Yeah.
Going from one set of midfield to another, Casemiro. Class, spoke about it earlier. Man of the match, goal, another trophy in the bag. Not really much more I can add to what we haven't already added. Just absolute class act.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't he? Like I said, both our midfielders get a goal at the weekend. Pretty easy decision, I think. And a striker, you West Ham fans will be happy. Mr. Danny Ings, first start for West Ham, 2 goals. I think, to be fair, little mention, I think Bowen had a good game. Obviously, a few more might have. I think Rice, obviously, with a brilliant finish. But yeah, Danny Ings, first goals for West Ham must be.
Yeah, first goals, yeah.
First start, scores his first goals. Yeah, Danny Ings up top.
knows where the back of that is in Claret and Blue, doesn't he?
He does. He does.
So yeah, that rounds off the team of Emi Martinez, Lissandro Martinez, Zinchenko, Casemiro, Oliver Skip, and Danny Ings. On to the winner and loser. Do you want to start off with your winner?
Yes, I've gone with. I had a couple options, but I felt I'd go with the Ipswich Town fans that went to MK Dons at the weekend. Just under 7,000 attended their away match. They won 1-0. Now they're third in the league, 2 wins on the bounce after a little sort of sticky patch. Excuse me. There was only 14,000 at the game, so Ipswich essentially had half the stadium, which is ridiculous. I don't know how they were allowed 7,000 anyway, but
they always do. To be fair,
yeah.
I mean,
surely it's on percentage of the stadium, but I don't know.
MK Dons got a massive stadium, haven't they?
Yeah, true. And like I said, it was only 14,000, and pretty much Ipswich took over the ground. But yeah, they're pushing for a promotion. They're a massive football league club. Within their history, they've had huge success at the very, very top. But the bare minimum for them is to probably survive in the Championship. So for them to be fighting to get back into the Championship is where they should be. So yeah, Ipswich Town fans, 7,000 at MK Dons.
That's a good one. Yeah, I struggled a bit this week, but I've gone for my winner and loser of the same ilk sort of thing, and my winner is Erik ten Hag.
Quite hurt, didn't it?
No, because I was just thinking, much as I don't like Manchester United, he actually comes across quite well, which is annoying.
Yeah, I've got you a loser. I know you a loser is now.
He looks good. Like he holds himself in a good manner. Just seems to make the right decision after right decision. It's nice to see. Like he's not dislikable, is he? He's not. He hasn't come in there and been all arrogant like Mourinho was. Or, he just going along doing his job nicely. Anyway, to win your first trophy in his first 6 months in charge is quite a thing. I think only one other Premier League manager off the top of my head has done that in the league. Mikel Arteta. I don't know. I know he has, but I don't know if
took you an hour and 20 minutes to get in there.
And Arteta bet Chelsea and Manchester City.
Talk about Ten Hag here, not Arsenal.
No, I knew up though. But no, he looks. Maybe he looks real. I don't know. He just fair play to him. Well done.
Yeah.
You won the first trophy you can possibly win at Man United, which has always been the monkey off your back. Like no one else has done it since Mourinho's done it. 6 years, and within 6 months you've ended the trophy drought. Yeah, fair play. That's a good choice of winner of the week.
Yeah. What about your loser?
Who did you think it was?
I think it's Harry Maguire.
No.
No? Okay, go on, carry on.
No, it was close, but... Antonio Conte.
Oh, no.
Get in the bin. I struggle to find a Chelsea... Liverpool... got too excited.
Yeah, you just hate everyone.
A Spurs fan who's got any time for this bloke now. He had his gallbladder removed, was it?
Yeah.
And every game he hasn't been at the ground, you have won quite convincingly. And every game he has been, you've lost quite convincingly. So off the top of my head, please correct me if I'm wrong here. 4-1 to Leicester.
Yeah.
And you lost to AC Milan away. And the games he hasn't been there, beat Man City, and you beat West Ham, and you beat Chelsea. 3 two rivals. Two rivals and the best team in the league you beat. And when he's been there, you've just looked pathetic.
Yeah. But is it, like I said before, but is it... the players come out and make the right sounds. They say, we've still been getting the messages and we miss him and we want him back and we need him, blah, blah. But is it just the fact he's not there? They relax a bit and they're thinking, right, I can actually play football. I don't need to do exactly what he wants me to do because he's not going to be there screaming his head off. But
well, one player I'll give this example to is Emerson Royal. He plays right back, so he's obviously in Conte's ear, firing line for at least 45 minutes of each game. And let's be honest, he's been awful for Spurs. But these last 3 weeks, looks like a brand new player. Maybe it is because Pedro Porro's there and he's had to up his game. But it can't be a coincidence. We're not getting bollocked for pissing around all the time.
No, because it's just that way. I've been there myself. But when you're directly in front of the manager, you're like you said, you're in their firing line. That's all they can look at. So you're probably the first that gets praised. You're the first that gets bollocked. So it might be to do that.
I've gone for Conte because he doesn't want to be there. Levy doesn't want him there. Spurs fans want Poch back, but Levy's too stubborn to sack him, and Antonio Conte's not going to leave and not get his money. No. So we're sitting here until June 30th until they break up, and Poch can come home, and Conte can go away, basically.
Yep, nice, good one. And just quickly, it sort of fits well because Callum, one of our listeners, regulars, has sent in the question, should Conte just sit out the rest of the season and leave it for his assistant to finish? So
I hope not, because you'll probably win the league at this rate.
I think Tate's loser of the week covers that nicely. And shall I move on to my loser of the week?
Yeah.
So I've gone with my loser of the week. Let me get it up, 1 second. So I've gone with loser of the week, VAR/English referees. And I'll start with Spurs. Stuart Atwell, who reffed the game at the weekend. I'm sorry, he's not a Spur. He's not related to Spurs, but he had our game at the weekend against Chelsea. So he's reffed since 2008-2009, 174 Prem games. He's reffed over 500 professional games from the J-League, Premier League, Football League, International Friendlies, European football. His experience is ridiculous. But yet, Sunday, I messaged my dad at about 2 o'clock saying, I think the ref could, quote-unquote, lose control. You know when he said, the ref's lost it, but this, I could see it happening, and lo and behold, it did. The VAR incident, and then I think one time in the second half, two players clashed heads, they went down injured, went off. We had the ball, we clearly had possession of the ball. Ben Davies held it. Then the ref's gone up to him, grabbed the ball, snatched the ball off Ben Davies, and then threw it to Chelsea. Everyone's up in arms, going crazy. And then lets Chelsea play on. And then at one point, he just decides to run down a tunnel, and I think he was changing his top or something. And it was just with all that was happening and all the decisions that he was making or not making, then he just decides to run off the pitch. Just adds to the fuel to the fire, I suppose. And everyone was just wanting him dead, basically. But ultimately, I just don't think VAR is helping the refs at the minute at all. The standard of refereeing is so poor, and then adding in this VAR, the assistant referee, through the video, and it's just complicating it all and making it even harder than it already is.
Get rid of him.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be stopped. I think I'm at that point where we were absolutely fine up until that point.
I'm happy to take wrong decisions without technology.
Yeah.
But I can't accept wrong decisions with it.
No.
Because you have people in charge who are meant to be doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Do your job.
Because you can have, I think you 100% need goal line technology without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I think to an extent, the offsides I think that can be improved, but again, we probably need that. That's quite a good addition. But like Arsenal won the goal that Trossard scored that was disallowed, but to me, they just went and looked for something.
Yeah, they're looking for things.
They went and found that incident and there's a foul there. But then other times they don't go and look for stuff. And then for example, the thing that happened at Spurs game in the whole, just before half time, it was just chaos. It was just ultimate chaos and yellow cards, red cards, rescinded. No one knew what was going on. It's just a shambles. And every week something happens. This weekend it probably won't be Spurs or Arsenal, but it will be someone else. Something else will pop up.
The one thing I think could improve it, if you were to keep it exactly the same as it is, the one small thing, like I said earlier, just play the whatever they're talking about in the play it.
Just
TV.
show it on the screen.
There's literally no reason, because I don't care. I'm not fussed about hearing what the ref has to say on the pitch because we can't hear that. The commentators can't hear that. But how come the commentators can hear? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Why do the commentators need to know what's going on if no one else can listen?
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. Because I'm pretty sure in rugby they do show the video of what's going on, don't they?
Yeah, they play it. You can hear it. You can hear the refs talk. I don't need to hear the refs talk because then you get into that situation of all the players and start swearing and blah blah blah. The people in the VAR decision, unless they're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
I generally think they could actually be having that conversation because when the rugby they're like. The video assistant's like, right, I've seen this, number 2's done this, check what number 4's done, blah blah, and the ref goes, well, from my angle, I've seen number 4 do this, but number 6 gets involved, like, help me out. And that's what happens, they have a normal conversation. But like you said, I think the refs might be going, Oh, bloody hell, Stuart. What's happened here? What's happened
I
here?
was swiping left on Tinder. I'm sorry.
Paul, help me out. Help me out, Paul.
And Mike Dean's probably in the corner, scratching his arse or something.
Yeah,
Howard Webb's just like, did they go to Man United or not?
yeah. What's score at Old Trafford? Oh, right. No. It's Arsenal. Okay, yeah, disallowed. It must be shocking.
But cricket is perfect. They talk you all through it professionally. Yeah. This is what I saw. This is what I can hear. Did it hit wicket? Did it bounce? Did it hit pitch and line?
Yeah.
Any contact on the bat? Yeah. Go through all the protocols. Tick it all off.
It must be. The refs just must be sitting in that office going, oh, no.
Oh, Wi-Fi's down.
Yeah, Wi-Fi's down. No. BT. Oh. Yeah, it's not good.
I don't know.
I think it needs to go or change drastically.
Yeah, I would happily get rid of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, I think that's a good loser of the week. And should we round up on the teaser?
Yeah, let's go back to the teaser.
Right, so from 1981 to 2023, the League Cup has attracted multiple sponsorships and has been named 8 different titles. Can you name them all?
8. I can get a couple. So right now it's the Carabao or Carabao, whatever you want. Carabao Cup. We had the Carling Cup at some point.
The longest serving one.
Yeah. Capital One.
9 years that was.
Was it?
Yeah, Capital One, yep.
Carabao, Capital One, Carling. Worthington Cup was one.
Yep.
Definitely.
I remember Blackburn Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs.
You lost, yeah.
We lost in the final Cardiff at Millennium, yeah. I think, yeah. And then aside from that, I am stuffed.
Come on, I expect you to get one more. I know they're all out of your age group, but one more, come
on. Ooh. Was one Coca-Cola?
Yes.
Yes, Coca-Cola, yeah.
Well done.
That's only because it's Coca-Cola. It's obviously a massive name, but apart from that, I wouldn't know the rest.
The original one, the Milk Cup.
Really? The Milk Cup.
Yeah, I remember my dad calling it the Milk Cup for years, and I was like, "What are you off?" Because that's what it used to be called.
Yeah, but then like now, I always call it the Carling Cup.
Yeah, same.
Because the exact reason is, like you said, it's held its name for a long time.
9
it's
years.
Not. It's obviously not the Carling Cup.
Littlewood's Cup.
Never.
And this is the one I had no clue on. The Rumbelows Cup.
Yeah, no idea.
So in order, it went the Milk Cup, Littlewood's Cup. That's so stupid. Rumbelows Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup, the Worthington Cup, Carling Cup, Capital One Cup, and then for 1 year it was just called the EFL Cup. They just didn't
the
have
League
sponsor.
Cup, yeah.
Just called it the English Football League. That's what it's
Which
called. It's called the League Cup.
Probably fair enough.
Yeah.
You think though, I know they get money from sponsor, blah blah, but surely they would just pick a footballer like an ex-pro or a well-known, like I don't know, like someone that's done a lot for the game or something. Just call it that's the trophy or something.
The FA Cup. I don't think the FA Cup's allowed to do that.
Right.
It's like being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, what's a building when you can't knock down called listed? Like a listed cup,
like copyrighted or something. Yeah.
Imagine if they just started calling the FA Cup like the witch.com or the Becco.com.
Yeah, no, the FA Cup 100%. But yeah.
And
then they call it the Emirates FA Cup, don't they?
Yeah, but loosely, don't they?
Yeah.
It's because Arsenal won it every time.
I'll set you up for that one.
Capital One Cup. Yeah, then it was the EFL Cup for one, but obviously didn't count. That's not a sponsorship.
Yeah.
And then the Carabao Cup has been there since 2017. I didn't realise it's been that long.
No.
Well, I think Man City have won. What's that? 3, 7. I think Man City have won 5 Carabao Cups, something like that.
Yeah. I was thinking as well just then that I heard someone say when it was Swansea versus Bradford, like imagine you're, for example, at the moment you're Carabao, like you're that company, and you're like right, you've got clients and stuff, right? You've got your executive seats for the cup final, Swansea versus Bradford.
Oh. That was Capital One Cup, I think. It must be
Capital One. They've got all these clients. They want a big old party at Wembley, big old final, big old suite. Oh, it's Swansea versus Bradford.
Awful.
Yeah, terrible. Good question.
Yeah, but 5 out of 8's not bad.
Yeah, I think. Like I said, I definitely knew 4. Bit of persuasion with Coca-Cola and the rest.
I'll be interested. Drop your how many you got?
Yeah, I'd be interested. Like
story or whatever.
Similar to our sort of dad's age and stuff, if they'd got any. But Yeah, good
I
question.
remember the Worthington Cup because my dad used to always call it, it's the worthless cup. Because Arsenal historically, bring it back to what, in my lifetime, 1994 I was born, we've never won this cup. Wenger never won it. We last won it, I think it was in 93 or 92. We never won the thing.
Yeah, we've done all right in it recently. Well, semi my lifetime, if you like, but yeah, I like it.
That brings a wrap to episode 34. We'll be back again next week to chat through all the Premier League games. FA Cup, obviously, midweek.
Yeah, midweek
Premier League
this,
games.
this week. A few FA Cup. Spurs away at Sheffield United.
I'm sure lots of relegation teams will win and lose.
Yeah, it'll all change.
Whatever we said this week will not be relevant next week.
Yeah, so
Forest
true.
probably be in the bottom three.
Yeah.
West Ham might even be mid-table if they win again.
Yeah, so true. Next week it could all change and we'll be sitting there thinking, bloody hell, what's going on? But yeah, that's episode 34.
We'll be back again. Thank you all again for listening and continue to share, liking, subscribing, interacting with the channel on Instagram and all the other channels. It does really help, and yeah, it's good to see the following growing and listeners keep coming through. And if this is your first time listening, then drop us a like on Spotify or 5 stars or whatever it is, or on Amazon Prime, Amazon Music, or on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And yeah, we're back again next week. And yeah, stay loyal.
Stay loyal.